because they do not have a completed shift. The system cannot create a timesheet for somebody if it doesn't know how long they've actually worked. So it has no idea what we're actually paying them, right? So that is the reason why it is so important to complete this every day. If we forget to add an out time for Felix or Rosa, and we move on to step 2, timesheet, they will not exist on this screen. You will have to add a new time card for the employee. Now, the reason why it is so important to remember to edit those punches every day, because even though Felix had a clock in time, it won't pull that over to step 2. So you'll have to either remember his clock in time and then also remember his clock out time, or you have to get that start time. So remember, step 1, employees will appear here if they have schedule data or if they have punch data. Ideally, they will have both. And employees will only appear in step 2 if they had a completed shift of punches. So now, let's start navigating through this timesheet. We can start to see their hourly rate, how many hours they were actually scheduled for, punch data, and then how many hours they actually worked. If there is any reporting time or split shift premiums, it will be calculated. Any break penalties, that's if we ask our employees not to take a break. If any of them have worked overtime, we'll see those hours calculated here. And how much this shift is actually costing us. Instead of just approving right away, let's take a look at some further detail here. So let's take a look at Denise's time card. We can view, edit, or of course, if you're testing some things out, you're playing around, having the employees practice how to punch, you can remove an entire time card. But to view or edit here, we can take a look at all of our details. So Denise was clocked in as a server. We can see her schedule time. You'll notice that I cannot change these, but we can change the clock in and clock out time even once we get to this screen. Denise clocked out early, unpaid personal. If Denise accidentally selected the wrong option, you can change it. Reporting time and split shift fees, automatically calculated. You will be able to see breaks, and you will be able to add breaks as well if Denise forgot to clock out for her unpaid meal break. Any warnings for any Fair Work Week or overtime, you'll see here. And clock login details, you will always be able to come back and view those photos. So there are not a ton of situations where I think you would really have to come in to take a look at these photos, really only if you have a particular team member who constantly struggles with the facial recognition. Come in, do a little investigation, see if maybe they're standing too far away from the camera, if they're blocking their face, if they're kind of just trying to be a clock-in nuisance. You will be able to view the actual clock-in photos. You will also always be able to track an audit history. Now, there's no auditing history here because Denisa clocked in on her own and clocked out on her own. We did not edit any of her punches. So we see no history records here. So to me, this shift looks good. I'm going to approve. This is what you are looking for. You are looking for that green approved tick mark. That is when you know you've done your job. Now let's take a look at Elias here, who does have a little break warning. So let's review. We can see that same information. Elias missed his break. Do we have to pay that premium? If it was his choice, of course not. If we, for some reason, asked Elias not to take his break, then yes, you would have to pay that break premium. We are going to select no. We'll say that Elias opted out on his own. What was the reason? We'll say manager correction here. Really, any notes or details that you can share, the better, just for auditing purposes. So we will say, slow day. Elias opted out of his break voluntarily so that he could leave early. As many details as possible. You can send this to the employee for review. Looks like that is mandatory. That's good. That's a good setting to have on, guys. What this will look like if it is sending to Elias for review. The next time Elias clocks in, he'll see a little pop-up notification that just says, hey, this is the change that was made. You didn't take a break. We're not paying the premium. Here's why. And he just has to accept or decline. Now, if Elias declines that alert, it won't stop payroll from running. It really does just prompt a conversation. If they decline, if they don't agree with it, of course they're going to reach out to you because we all know that people love their money. They want their paychecks to be as big as possible. So it prompts that conversation. But I, as a manager, I'm confident with this time card. I'm confident with no premium being owed for this break. I am once again going to approve. We can see again, green for go, but our employee review is pending. Remember, Denisa did not have any adjustments made, so she doesn't need to approve or review any changes, but Elias will see a little blurb pop up the next time he clocks in.